I want you to picture the meal prep content you've seen online. Color-coded containers, 6 different grains, 17 individually portioned snack bags, someone in a spotless kitchen with 4 hours of free time, and the energy of a golden retriever. Now, I want you to picture your actual Tuesday at 6 p.m. Those two things have nothing to do with each other, and the gap between them is exactly why most people try to meal prep once, find it exhausting and unsustainable, and go back to ordering food they didn't really want and spending money that they didn't plan to spend. Today, we're closing that gap. Real prep, real life, real Canadian grocery stores. Let's go. I'm a holistic nutritionist with 15 years experience, and I will tell you honestly, the most common reason people fall off healthy eating has nothing to do with willpower and nothing to do with motivation. It's friction. When the healthy option requires effort and the unhealthy option requires none, you're going to take the path of least resistance every single time at 6 p.m., when you're tired and hungry and just done with the fucking day. That is not a character flaw. That is biology. Meal prep, done right, and I mean the realistic version, not the Instagram version, removes the friction. You're not cooking Sunday so you can eat well Sunday. You're cooking Sunday so that Tuesday at 6 p.m. is a solved problem instead of a crisis. That is the entire point. And it does not require your whole weekend, a culinary degree, or 17 glass containers. So here's the framework I actually use and teach. It's not about making complete meals. It's about building components, things that combine in multiple ways so you're not eating the same lunch 5 days in a row and losing the willpower to live by Wednesday. So a protein source or two. This is your anchor. Without protein ready to go, every meal defaults to carbs and you're hungry again in 2 hours. Options that reheat well and work in multiple contexts. So a batch of hard-boiled eggs, some cooked beans or canned beans, a whole roasted chicken, takes 15 minutes of hands-on time, gives you 3 or 4 meals worth of protein, a pot of lentils or chickpeas, if you're plant-forward, canned salmon or sardines. They require zero prep and legitimately are one of the best proteins you can eat. Ground meat browned with onions and garlic that goes into bowls, wraps, pastas, scrambled eggs. Pick 1 or 2 and have them ready to go in the fridge. A cooked grain or starch, brown rice, quinoa, farro, roasted sweet potatoes, cooked lentils, something that fills out the meal, provides sustained energy, and takes almost zero effort. You put it on the stove, you walk away, you make a big batch, keeps for 5 days in the fridge. Roasted vegetables. This is the highest return prep you can do. Cut up whatever veggies you have on hand, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, peppers, Brussels sprouts, beets, carrots. Toss it with some olive oil, salt and pepper, roast it at 400 degrees for 20 to 35 minutes, just depending on how big it is. Smaller the size, the less the cooking time. Also, then you're not cutting it after you've cut it to eat it. They go in bowls, they go on top of grains, into wraps, alongside eggs, eaten cold out of the fridge as a snack. Roasted vegetables taste good at every temperature and they go with almost everything. Make a big pan, make 2 pans, even better. A sauce or a dressing. This is a thing that makes the same 5 ingredients taste different for every meal. A jar of tahini dressing with tahini, lemon, garlic, water, a good olive oil and vinegar, a batch of chimichurri, miso dressing, pesto. Your sauce is what makes a bowl of rice, chicken, and roasted broccoli feel like dinner instead of a sad diet food. Don't skip this step. Washed and ready snacks. Vegetables cut up and in a container. Fruit washed and accessible. A batch of hard-boiled eggs. Some nuts portioned out. The goal is that when you open the fridge hungry, the healthy option requires zero effort because you've already put in the effort. You're not going to make it You're going to eat crackers over the sink and call it a meal. So here's what this actually takes and not what Instagram says it takes. So you need 2 roasting pans full of vegetables, 5 minutes of chopping, 30 minutes to cook in the oven while you're doing something else. Maybe you can be cooking that pot of rice or quinoa, 2 minutes, and then it cooks itself. If you're eating meat, you can roast a whole chicken, 15 minutes of prep, an hour in the oven. You're not standing there, you're watching TV. Hard boiling eggs a dozen at a time if you eat them, but it takes about 10 minutes. Making a jar of dressing, 5 minutes, faster if you've got a NutriBullet. So total hands-on time for meal prepping is going to be anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. Total elapsed time, so this is your peeling, chopping, cooking, prepping, all that fun stuff, is about an hour and a half, most of which you are not in the kitchen. You can do the Sunday afternoon while you're watching the game, doing laundry, helping someone with homework. It doesn't require a dedicated 4-hour block out of your day. So let's talk money, because healthy eating has a reputation for being expensive, and I want to push back on that hard. The most affordable proteins in any Canadian grocery store are lentils, chickpeas, canned meats like fish, tuna, sardines, edamame, tofu, and chicken thighs. These are not SAG-compromised foods. They're legitimate, nutrient-dense, protein-rich foods that cost a fraction of what a package of chicken breasts or a container of protein powder costs. Frozen vegetables are not a compromise either. Frozen peas, frozen corn, broccoli, mixed veggies, these are nutritious and picked and frozen at peak nutrition. They are often more nutritious than the produce that's sitting on the truck for a week being driven to the grocery store. Stock your freezer and use them. Dried beans and lentils are some of the most cost-effective foods in existence. A bag of dried lentils costs about $2 and makes enough food to last you most of the week. And if you're not eating lentils regularly because they feel boring or unfamiliar, that is a skill issue we can fix. They take on flavor brilliantly. They work well in soups, stews, curries, salad, and grain bowls. Learn 2 lentil recipes and your grocery bill will thank you. Seasonal produce is cheaper, so eat cabbage in the winter, your root vegetables in the fall, zucchini and tomatoes in the summer. Eating with the season is not precious or bougie. It's how food used to be eaten, and it's significantly cheaper than demanding strawberries in January. I don't know about you, but living in Canada, we're not getting fresh strawberries in January. So here's what this looks like in practice with real food. Sunday prep, roast your chicken thighs, big pot of rice, 2 pans of roasted vegetables, broccoli and sweet potato, hard-boiled some potatoes, make your tahini dressing. Monday dinner is a rice bowl with chicken, roasted vegetables, tahini dressing. It's done. 5 minutes. Tuesday lunch, same components in a wrap. Add some greens and hot sauce. Different flavor profile. Tuesday dinner, your lentils and vegetable fried rice using leftover eggs scrambled in soy sauce, done in 10 minutes. Wednesday, lentil soup. Canned lentils with or pre-cooked, canned tomatoes or whatever vegetables are left, spices, done 25 minutes. Thursday, eggs 3 ways, scrambled with whatever vegetables remain on top of leftover rice with the last of the tahini dressing. Friday, whatever's left gets thrown together. You order pizza. You've eaten well for 4 days this week with minimal effort and moderate cost. That is a win. That is the goal, not perfection. Just mostly good, most of the time, without it being a whole production. So stop prepping full meals, prep components. The flexibility is what keeps you from getting bored and wasting food when your week doesn't go as planned. Buy a good sheet pan, not 5 matching glass containers. 1 large sheet pan can change your vegetable situation entirely. And keep your pantry stocked with non-perishable anchors: canned beans, lentils, canned fish, a good olive oil, a few grains, some canned tomatoes, and a solid selection of spices. These are your safety nets for the nights when fresh food is gone and you need to pull something together. Do your meal prep on whatever day actually works for you. Sunday isn't a rule. If Wednesday evening is when you have time, prep Wednesday. The system works any day. So batch cook one thing that freezes well every 2 weeks. So a big pot of stew, chili, soup, a tray of muffins, a batch of lentil curry. Put half in the freezer. And on the nights when everything goes sideways, you have something real to eat. Also, when you batch cook rice and grains, you can also freeze that. So you take it out with your soup or your stew. So the goal of meal prep is not a perfect fridge full of perfectly portioned containers. The goal is removing the decision and the effort from the moment when you're tired and hungry and you just want to fucking eat something and you're vulnerable and you don't want to make any choices. Build your components, keep your pantry stocked, make healthy option the easy option. That's the whole system. Start somewhere. Start small. It adds up. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.